Don't be afraid either. Life risking thing. So you have to do your research. It's important to do your research. Going off word of mouth is not good enough. Of, feeling like they don't look like themselves. Emotionally, can you cope with that? Hi, welcome to my channel. Hope you're all doing really well. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how you can make the most out of your consultation. This can be a consultation for any cosmetic procedure, as well as consultations for even, I guess you could apply to like GPs, private medical health, etc. If you're new to my channel, do subscribe, do give me a thumbs up as well. If you haven't been here before, I talk about everything related to skin, cosmetics and aesthetics. So if that's something you are interested in, then do join the community, join my little subscriber family. Do check out some of my other videos as well and see if it is for you. If you are a returning subscriber, hello, thanks for tuning back in. Today we're going to get into it, okay? Okay, so with the rise of many different procedures, especially cosmetic procedures such as, fillers especially, I see it all over my timeline, etc. I want to ensure that you're having consultations, and that if you are having consultations, you know what steps to take to make sure you're getting the most out of your consultation. So, you're knowledge up on what to expect, how it could go, and whether it's the correct procedure for you in itself. So I'm going to be mentioning some top tips. So I'm going to be giving you guys around 10 of my most recommended top tips to ensure that you're getting the most out of your consultations. If you've not been here before, I'm Miss T Lindo. I'm a skin and facial massage therapist from London, student nurse, as well as many other things. So if you are interested in this video, then do keep watching. So without further ado, number one, make sure that you're on time. Okay, be organized, not just for yourself, but respecting the practitioner's time as well. Make sure that you're on time for your consultation, especially if you've paid for your consultation. There's a good chance that the practitioner, doctor, nurse, whoever you may be seeing, they won't be willing to extend your consultation time. You want to go into your appointment, on time, so that you get the full consultation window to discuss everything you need to within detail, within a good amount of time, no pressure, no rush, and you can therefore get the most out of your consultation. Being on time as well, it shows yourself in a good light, not just with consultations, but life in general. Just being prompt, being there, being present, being on time. I know stuff can happen, if you're traveling from far, for example, or you're not even too sure where the place is, just try and plan it ahead the night before. Make sure that you can get there within good amount of time. Me personally, not just for consultations, but anything in general, I like to get to places around 10 minutes at least before, and I can then, sort myself out a cup of tea, a cup of coffee or whatever. And and then from there, basically, just little things like take your coat off, just relax, let your heart rate settle a little bit before you go straight into something. I just hate being late, and sometimes when you're late, you just feel completely flustered as well. It's like your mind's racing. So yeah, make sure you prepare and give yourself a good amount of time to get to your appointment. The second would be to write questions down. If you've seen some of my videos, you know how I am when it comes to like preparing stuff and just writing questions down. Do write questions down, write everything down that you want to know about, that you want to know about specific to you as well and your needs, like in regard to results. What are the downtime? What are the side effects? Can I do this whilst I'm working? How long will I need to take off work? Like, write all these questions down, and don't be afraid either. This person who you're speaking with, more than likely, you're paying for their time. So considering this fact, this is your appointment. This is your chance to voice anything that you need to voice. Don't be shy about it. Be very direct as well. Be specific and ask these questions. You know, you're paying for a service, and more than likely you will be paying a great amount of your hard-earned money towards this procedure that, you know, you're planning to get. So do ask questions, get the knowledge that, you know, you want to know about from this person that you're speaking with, so you're therefore prepared on your procedure, what to expect afterwards, etc. I would recommend carrying in a little notebook. I personally have a little notebook that I like to use. So, you know, have this little notebook. You can fit in like your handbag or something, a cute little A5. Write all your questions down and go through them within your appointment, and write the answers down as well that the practitioner shares. You can write things down. This is you, this is your body, your anatomy and your health. So carry a little notebook, write questions and make notes of the answers that you get back as well. I wouldn't recommend recording. Don't record anything unless you have the permission, because you can be sued for that. It breaches a whole load of things I'm not going to go into, but yeah, stay away from any audio or visual recordings. The third is to know what area you want to discuss with your chosen practitioner. So a lot of practitioners, when I say practitioners, I'm talking about nurses, doctors, estheticians, etc. They can cover a wide area of things. So for example, you may go to a doctor who does liposuction, but they also do breast surgeries or rhinoplasties. Know what area you want to discuss. It can also help your appointment time, but also show the doctor that, you know, you're not wasting their time and you're quite clear on what you want to have done. The worst thing you could do would be to walk into your appointment, you know, with a goal of liposuction or something, and the next minute you're swaying off into talking about, I don't know, toe surgery or something, for example. Be clear on what you want to discuss. Appointment windows aren't often that long. They're often, I'm sure, around 15 to 30 minutes. Use that specialised time for your specific area so that you can make the most out of it and leave that appointment with enough detail on what you're really wanting to have done. If you are considering other areas, it may be best to see if you can arrange a longer appointment time, or often you may be advised to book a different appointment altogether. But be specific on the area that you want to have treated, and also ensure that, you know, the doctor is specialised in that area, which I'll come on to in another point. 4 is to have a rough idea of price points, okay? So what you would spend 6k for, another doctor might do for 14k. Often this is due to the amount of surgeries that they've completed, the amount of boards that they're accredited to, and also just their personal price. They may have been doing these surgeries for years on end, okay? And another doctor might be slightly newer. Another thing to consider are locations. So London being a very sort of, you know, pristine area, the city, the price points are going to be much higher than if you were to go to, say, Birmingham, Liverpool or Manchester to have your procedure done. So that's something to consider when looking at price points. Also, if you can't afford your surgery, there are other options out there such as finance. Some people, you know, resort to loans and credit cards. Personally, unless it's like an emergency surgery, I wouldn't lean towards going into debt for a surgery, as debt can, you know, it's often a snowball effect and can make things, you know, much worse financially. You can often spend much longer trying to pay these debts off. So if you can and you earn enough, I would recommend just saving, working, putting some money aside each month to save for your surgery. And, you know, at least if you do have to take out, you know, a loan or something, you would have paid off the majority of it up front. So that's something to consider, all these different price points. Also, if you are to go abroad for your surgery, you may find that the surgery price is much cheaper than within the UK. And again, it's due to the similar aspects which I've just mentioned. Also, the general things such as the country's tax, overheads, general medical fees. Like, you know, the UK is expensive. It's an expensive place to live. Inflation's gone up, and an array of factors. So do consider price points beforehand. Can you afford it? Is it worth it at this time? Can you look into research and potentially go somewhere else that's more within your budget? The fifth is to make sure you research your doctor. Do extensive research on the doctor that you're planning to go with. Not just doctors, but any practitioner. You want to make sure that they are accredited to the boards that are required, that they're required to be under for carrying out certain procedures. So I don't know them all off by heart, but I will include them in this video. But there are specific cosmetic boards, if you're having cosmetic surgery, that doctors would need to be registered in, not just within the UK, but for example, America. There's an international board of plastic surgeons. I'm not sure what the one for the UK and Europe one is, but yeah, like I said, I will include it in this video. If you're having cosmetic surgery done, your practitioner should be registered with and accredited with these boards. These boards are ensuring that, you know, practitioners are registered and licensed to a certain standard and degree before operating on people. And it's really important because surgery is a big thing. It really is a big thing. Someone's putting you to sleep, someone's, you know, going into your body, okay? And you know, your body is full of, you know, different channels, arteries, veins, all these things, and just one slight thing can put your life at risk. Surgery is a life changing and life risking thing. So you have to do your research. It's important to do your research. Going off word of mouth is not good enough. Do your research, go onto their website, read the about area of the doctor, for example. If you've read the about area and you feel like you're happy with it, you can actually go onto the board website that they claim to be accredited with, and then you can search for the doctor under there and double check if they are actually accredited, if that accreditation is still within license, as these things do expire. And, you know, these doctors have to keep basically training to meet the standards of that. Similarly, you know, if you're a nurse and you're with the NMC, you have to keep doing your CPD so that you can stay on that register and keep your PIN. It's the same for doctors and plastic surgeons as well. Make sure that they're still accredited, it's, you know, their license is still within use. Also, you can look at some forums as well. A really good forum is Real Self. Real Self has like everything. So Real Self will have different procedures on there, from teeth to body, injectable treatments as well, pills, and often the practitioner will be on there, and all these people from around the world that have been to this person, they will leave reviews. These reviews often have pictures as well, so you can see their befores and afters, and you basically just get an insight. It's like an online community for procedures and, you know, plastic surgeries. Everyone, you know, leaves their reviews on there. People can converse with each other. They often put the price points in of how much their surgery was. So it's really useful. So if you are considering having anything done, then I would recommend Real Self. Also social media as well. You could make like a burner account, create your burner account, and through this you know, join a community of, you know, perhaps ladies that are going to the doctor that you want to go to, or have been to that doctor. If you know you're not comfortable with people, you know, knowing that you want to have certain things done, like, it's perfectly okay. Remember, this is your health, this is your hard-earned money as well. So just, you know, do your research and make sure that this is the correct person for you. Even if you've paid your deposit, I know it can be hard to let go, but it's better for you to lose that £500 deposit rather than going to that doctor and then having, you know, the years of hundreds and thousands that you might have to pay, ending to basically correct the work that you had done that you knew could potentially arise anyway because you didn't research properly. So do consider that. Okay, 6 is to take notes. So similarly to the previous point, take notes within your appointment. You can write basic stuff like, you know, just how the doctor's demeanour maybe, you know, a big turn off, you know, I mean, surgeons can be quite matter of fact anyway, but you can just write these little notes like, how did this person come across to you? Did they actually answer your questions? Were they quite pushy? Take notes throughout your appointment. You know, write notes on the answers to the questions, write notes on what they may have suggested, but you know, whether they suggested, I don't know, going to a particular person because you would need to have massages after your surgery. Do you need to get your garments from this website? Just make notes throughout your appointment so you're prepared, you're clued up, and you know, you don't really have to, I don't know, call the clinic back or book another appointment just because you missed out on these answers. This all falls into organisation and making sure that you're prepared so that you can get the best out of your appointment and your whole cosmetic journey. The 7th would be to emotionally prepare. Think very carefully about whether this is what you really want to do, or are you just following? Are you following a trend? Are you doing this for someone else and not yourself? You want to be emotionally prepared. Surgery is not an easy thing. Any procedure is not an easy thing. It often comes with downtime, big financial loss, and an array of things. So you want to be emotionally prepared for what to expect and how your life can change afterwards as well. For example, on this Real Self website, I found it quite interesting to see that a lot of women who have had nose jobs, afterwards they can go through like a phase of depression, of, you know, feeling like they don't look like themselves, or if they're approached by like men, for example, they feel like the person only likes them for their new feature and not how they originally looked. So just little things like this, it can play with your mind. So do have a look at forums, read about people's experiences, speak with the practitioner, and be real with yourself about whether this is actually for you, whether you can cope with this. Do you have a support system in place? You know, this is all important and will help you on your journey. It can be very difficult and painful as well. So just be real with yourself, do your research, and fathom whether this is emotionally what you want and how you can prepare for it emotionally. If you take something like antidepressants, for example, if you're having an invasive procedure done like a BBL, for example, often they will ask you to stop taking it at least a month beforehand. So emotionally, can you cope with that? You know, coming off of antidepressants, for example, often makes the brain go through immediate and intense stress, and you will have a lot of symptoms of, you know, depression, can be suicidal thoughts. I know it's extreme, but these are things that we have to talk about and sometimes people don't talk about. So if you just suddenly stop taking these antidepressants and then you go in for surgery, can you cope with all of this intertwined? It's recommended to, you know, just have a support system in place, be aware, and hopefully you will be okay. You will be okay. We'll speak it into existence, but do consider these factors. Okay, number 8, you want to be realistic with your results, okay? It's very easy to compare yourself to the next person. We don't know what the next person done. We don't know how many operations they've had. Be realistic with your results and, your current appearance and what your goal appearance is. It can be useful when you go to your appointment to bring, I guess, like wish pictures of what you're aiming for, and the doctor can then give you a realistic answer as to whether that can be achieved through your one appointment, or if you may need to undergo further appointments. So be realistic with your results. You don't want to spend big money on your procedure and then 6 months down the line, you feel very disheartened with what you got for how much you spent. Be realistic, ask questions, and yeah, you're on your journey. You will get there potentially. Number 9 is to avoid bringing children if you can. Children, I don't know, they're so cute and bubbly and energy and just all over the place, but it can act a little bit as a distraction, especially in consultation appointments when you want to focus on retaining and receiving, such important information. Often you may have the areas briefly examined before any prices etc are discussed, and if you have a child that may not be able to, for example, sit still, it can derail your appointment. It can be difficult to find childcare and all these things, and especially if you're like a single mom without support and stuff. But if you can, it's recommended to avoid bringing a child to your appointment. Also, a lot of things will be discussed in your appointment that you probably won't want them to hear anyway. So yeah, if you can find someone to look after them for like an hour, or maybe go during like nursery or school hours or something, so you can just have that time to focus on you and your health. Speaking on health, I'm now going to talk about the 10th tip, which is for you to be clear on your medical history before going into your appointment. During your consultation, a lot of questions will be focused on your medical history, such as what procedures you've had before, any diseases or illnesses that you may have or have had. So you need to be clear on your medical history. This is down to you now, because if you go into that appointment and you start, you're not clear, or maybe you have had something, for example, what can I say? Maybe you have asthma and you lied to the doctor about having asthma. That can mess up your whole surgery, not just, after results and complications, but in that actual surgical moment, your life could be at risk just because you didn't mention a specific health need that you have. You might need a transfusion, but because you said you don't have a specific disorder, that transfusion, the blood's not available for you now. So be clear on your history, be very honest about your history as well. The doctor wants to help you, and I'm sure they don't want to lose their license to practice or anything like that. So just be clear on your history. Try and get access from your medical records from your GP. You're entitled to that. Call your GP, pop up there, say you want a print out of your records or something like that. It's your health, you're entitled to it, it's yours. A lot of people don't know that, but be clear. If you're not, help the doctor to help you, and that will be probably the most important thing throughout your whole cosmetic surgery consultation journey. So I hope you found that video useful. I'm hoping to create a bit more videos now that I've had a few days to myself. So that was obviously focused on how to make the most out of your appointments. If you did enjoy this video, then give me a like and a comment. I don't really get comments. I'll obviously get back to you. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.